All right, we're looking at the unit review for Unit 5 in Math 1. This is number 1. And it says, evaluate 16 times 2 to the x if x equals negative 3. So I'm going to plug that in. Okay. Now, our negative power is really just a fraction. Okay. So this is going to be 1 over 2 to the third. Okay. Which is equal to 16 times 1 over 8. Kind of coming over here. So if I multiply straight across, I get 16 over 8, and that equals 2. Okay. Looking at the next problem, it says rewrite the expression without negative exponents. So I have 8 to the negative 1. That equals 1 over 8 to the 1. I have 12 to the negative 2. Okay. And that equals 1 over 12 squared. And I can simplify that a little bit more to 1 over 144. And the next one is 1 over 3 to the negative 2. And if the power's in the denominator, it goes to the top. And so, oops, sorry. If the power's in the top, it goes down. If it's in the bottom, it goes up. So that's 3 to the negative 2, and that is 9. Okay. Look at the next one. Which expressions are equivalent to 1? Okay. So if I have anything, this is number 3. Anything to the 0 power equals 1. Okay. So if you look at the next one, it doesn't reduce. Okay. So the next one says 2 to the negative 3 over 3 to the negative 2. So if I was to work this out, this would go to the top. This would go to the bottom. And then I get 9 over 8, which does not reduce to 1. Okay, so the first one does. And the last one is 1 over 2 to the 0. And that means the bottom turns into 1. And so that does equal 1. Number 4. So now we want to write a reasonable equation. So we don't have to be totally exact, but if I look at the first one there, if I look at my graph, I can find some point. So it looks like it goes to the point right there, which an exponential should, 0, 1. And it looks like it also goes through the point 1, 2. Okay, so for that to be true, using this equation, y equals a b to the x, I have to look and see when x is 0, where am I at? That's my a value. And then when I plug in a 1, it's got to be a 2. So that's got to be times 2 to the x. So I can rewrite that as y just equals 2 to the x. Okay. Looking at the next equation, that's linear. It looks something like this. And this one goes through the points, it looks like 0, negative 4 is that point right there. And it also goes through the point 2, 0. Okay. So if I use y equals mx plus b, okay, I know my b is negative 4. Right, I just got to find my slope. So if I was to do this by counting, I know my graph doesn't look perfect, but if I counted the rise over the run, it would come out to up 4 over 2 spaces. So what that actually is going to equal after I reduce is that. Okay. Looking at the next one, same type of question. Alright, so this one kind of goes like this, and this one goes through the point 0, -2, and through the point, -2, 0. So this is going to be y equals, the y-intercept is -2, and I got to find my slope, so I'd go up to, back to. Alright, up to, back to. So my actual equation is that. Okay. The next one, number 5. Okay. And they want to know where f of x is equal to g of x. And this question is a lot easier than it looks. So if I have the graph here, okay, and they have a line that kind of goes like this, and they have an exponential function that kind of goes like this. Really, all they want to know is where they cross. Okay, that's where the two lines equal each other. I don't even know which one's necessarily which one's f and which one's g, but I know they're each graph. So I just look at the points in which they cross. So if I look at the question on the homework assignment, that is the point 1, 1. And then this is the point, looks like this point is about -2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And so there's that point. Find the points which they cross. And when they look for the solution, they really only want the x value. So the x equals -2 and the x equals 1. Okay. Let's do one more on this video. So number 6. Okay, a student invests $400, okay, at a rate of 8%. So if you remember, if I go 8% and I convert that to a decimal, it's 0.8. However, it's going to be an increase, so I have to add a 1 to it. So that's the rate that I'm going to use, right, to the x. And then I definitely want to use a calculator on this. And they want to know after 5 years. So I plug in a 5 right there. And if I got to do this part first, 1.08 to the 5th, then multiply by 400. And if I do that, it should come out to 587.73 cents.